Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Madeline and I create knitting content here on YouTube. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a review of a brand that I haven't done a review for in quite some time, and that brand is Wool and the Gang. So they did change their packaging from the last time I've done a review. So what I'm going to do in this video is first I'm going to take you through and I'm going to unbox this and show you exactly what it looks like when it arrived to me. Then I'm going to give you some progress updates as I'm knitting along, and then finally I'll show you what the finished sweater looks like. So I just gave away a little bit of what it is, and yes, it is a summer sweater, and I'm pretty excited to knit this one. I think it's really cute. Down in the description box below, you're going to find a link to this sweater I'm knitting on the Wool and the Gang website. This video is not sponsored. I purchased the sweater with my own money. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. I also have a bunch of other videos where I review kits, so I'll leave the whole playlist link down below as well. Thanks for watching. Here's my box exactly as it arrived. So they do still do the same sticker thing that from the last time I ordered, so it says hello with your name on it, and then the Wool and the Gang sticker. I do feel like they used to mail in brown boxes, but now they switched over to the priority mail, which is fine because then you get it in like 2 to 3 days. So yeah, let me just open this up and show you what it looks like. Here's my kit. And then this is the shirt I ordered. So I guess, yeah, they called it a t-shirt. This is the Destiny t-shirt. It's an advanced kit. And I ordered it in a size small, the small size I believe, so I should have 2 of each color, 1 pattern, 1 sewing needle, and then I don't actually get my kits with the needles because I already have quite a few knitting needles, so my kit won't have the knitting needles in it, but that's the size I would use. First color. Second color. Third color. So yeah, my idea when I was picking these out was instead of, they do like a blue and then almost like a peachy color, was to do different shades of gray. So I'm gonna have the darkest gray where the blue is, medium gray, and then white where they have that. I thought that would be cute. Also in my kit, I got my coupon, 15% off my next order, a postcard. So maybe that's similar to how We Are Knitters puts in the stickers, I guess. Wool and the Gang is putting in postcards. And then this should be my pattern and my sewing needle. Oop. So my tapestry needle just fell out. We got 1 tapestry needle. My full pattern. So this one is advanced, so it's quite a large booklet. And then lastly, a fabric tag. I don't actually usually put these in, but they do give you one in case you want it to. I also realized too, I forgot to say what my colorways were. So my colorways are White Noise, Jog Gray, and then Eagle Gray. So that's the colorways I went with, and these are each on the Shiny Happy Cotton, which has 155 yards, and it is 100% cotton. So I thought this would be a great summer sweater slash t-shirt. Now I'm gonna start knitting, and I'll give you an update once I've gotten a little way into the pattern. For a first quick update, this is what I've tried knitting so far. This is just part of one of the front or back panels. And I went down 1 needle size when I started knitting this one, just because I know I tend to knit with a looser gauge. So the pattern says a 10.5. I used a 10 here, but when I measured this gauge, it's actually still too loose. So I'm gonna go down another needle size to a 9 and see if that's closer, because I definitely don't want the sweater ending up too baggy, especially because when you wash things, they tend to grow. So yes, I'm gonna go down another needle size and knit this same section and see if I like that gauge a little bit more. When I went down to the size US 9, I really did enjoy the way that that knit up. So here's just one panel. And you can see that I don't know if you can see my hand through there. It's still a little bit loose, but I think once it washes up, it'll make a really nice fabric and be a good gauge for me. Also on the US 9, I was much closer to the written measurements in the pattern. So far I've knit this one panel, and then I've made a second panel. And the reason that I knit the two panels at the same time is that I wanted to make sure when I got to the underarm that I was on the same color stripe and that I didn't mess up the repeats at all. So just a good way to check. So I basically just took the first 3 balls of yarn, knit one side, the second 3, and knit the other side. And now that they do line up, I'm basically able to keep on knitting the back and the front panel. So I still have to finish the back and the front panel and then knit the 2 sleeves and then lastly seam them together. I did really debate if I should knit this in the round after I filmed that last clip where I was showing the different needle size, but I figured that since these patterns are usually sold in kits with straight knitting needles, that I would knit mine basically flat as well, even though it was really tempting, just because, I mean, it isn't that bad, but you basically have to carry up 2 sets of waste yarns on each side. Not waste yarn, but like you have to carry up along each side. You can kind of see how I organized them all along that one edge. So I think they actually ended up looking pretty nice. So on the inside of the sweater, it should look good once I seam and everything. But it was very tempting to knit it in the round. So I'm gonna keep on knitting along, and then I'll come back and show you what the pieces look like as I'm seaming them up together. So I've started seaming together, and so you can see my top shoulder seam right here. But I noticed when I did that, so if I just put that at the top of where a shoulder would be, that then the underarms don't line up for the front and the back. So let me zoom in so I can show you that a little better. So like here's the front underarm, and then here's the back underarm. So there's a probably like 1.5 inches almost there. So I'm gonna have to figure out some way to make that work because I'm not gonna rip it out at this point. So maybe it's supposed to be something where like the shoulder seam can go down a little further. So I just folded it so now the shoulder seam is like up a little further and now it kind of lines up. I'm definitely gonna have to do something there to make it work. Actually, maybe that is the key, because when I do that, then the bottom lines up. But yeah, gonna keep on working on seaming. Just thought I would point that out. Also, yeah, when I have it like this, the front's shorter than the back. So maybe I'm not supposed to fold it at the shoulder seam. I don't know. So starting off with the yarn, I have quite a lot of yarn left over, so there's definitely no risk of running out of yarn if you knit the same size I did. And I didn't mind the yarn at all. It knit up really well, it feels soft. It does split a little bit when you knit with it, but I mean, that's just kind of what happens with cotton yarn, so I didn't think this split any more or less than any other cotton yarn I've used. Also, when I washed it, it washed really well. There wasn't any like color bleeding out of these darker colors. I'll insert a clip here. So this is a clip from when I first soaked the sweater. So you'll see that when I drain it, nothing comes out really, it's just clear water. So that was a good thing. The downside to the sweater, I would say, or the thing I struggled with the most, was that I noticed quite a few mistakes in the pattern. So once I got past those rectangles that I showed you when I started working up kind of like the top portion of the sweater, there were quite a few rows where it didn't match up with what I would have expected it to have said. I don't know how to word it without saying exactly what they were, but it's kind of like there's repeats of a pattern, and it was making me do things that weren't continuing the repeat of the pattern. And so it took a lot of thought going up there, and I didn't necessarily enjoy that. So in all, I counted a total of 8 kind of like mistake rows. So it was just places where the pattern said to do things that I didn't think were correct. I did email them with the list of the rows that I thought were incorrect and what I thought the correction should be. And they responded saying that they were going to send it to the tech editor to review. But I'm not sure if they're going to update the pattern in the future or anything like that. But I would just keep that in mind if you do select this kit. I think part of the thing might have been is that my size wasn't the size that their sample was knit in. So their sample was one size larger than the one I knit. So I'm not sure if my size had ever been like test knitted or anything. So it just took a lot more patience and kind of like trying to figure out, okay, this is what they said. Do they mean to say that, or do they mean to say this row? And so there were a lot of times where I had to kind of go through that process and sit there and calculate it out. Because I feel like whenever I find what I think is a mistake in the pattern, my default is to think that I made a mistake in my knitting and that the pattern is correct. So the first few times that it happened, my default was that I had made the mistake and that the pattern was correct. And because oftentimes that does happen, right? I drop a stitch somewhere and knit 2 together. So I would sit there and I'd write out all the math. I'd write out, you know, basically like last time I knew it was right, this is what I had, and then I would work my way up to the row I was having trouble with, and I'd be like, no, actually I think I am correct and that the pattern may be wrong. So the first few times I kept on going through that, and then I'd say after like 3 or so times of me going through that and realizing that I think there is a mistake in the pattern, I just started going with my own intuition. So yeah, in all I counted 8 times where that happened. So in that respect, I wouldn't recommend this pattern, just because I feel like a kit should be really fun. You should buy all the different parts. It comes with the yarn. It should just be easy. But this one took a lot more effort than I think it should have. And I mean, I don't want to sound too harsh either. Mistakes happen in patterns. If it had been like 1 or 2, I would have been like, oh, you know, mistakes happen. There's a lot of sizes, a lot of different scaling of different measurements. It happens. But at a certain point, you're like, okay, this is a few too many. So that's the drawback to this specific one that I knit. But overall, I do like the way the sweater fits. I think it's really cute. I did wear it all day today, so I feel like that's a plus. I did show you as I was going along and seaming it, and I do like how all my seams turned out. So on the side, I actually don't think you can really see my seam at all. I think I did a pretty good job hiding it. The shoulder seams, I really like how these ones turned out. But yeah, I've been spending a lot more time thinking about seaming and like intentionally pulling yarn tighter at certain times and looser at other times, and I've been having a lot of fun with that and just making sweaters fit exactly the way that I want them to, and like, yeah, I don't know. It's something I'm having fun with right now. But yes, overall, I wouldn't say this is my favorite kit. Just want to give you my honest review of it. Again, this video isn't sponsored or anything. I purchased the kit with my own money. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.